Hello, I'm Adam Eccles, and if you need a little podcast, you've come to the right place. This is Need a Little Podcast. Today is Sunday, the 17th of August, and this is your irregular and irrelevant news pod from my author world. This is the personal podcast that sits alongside my blog at adamecklesbooks.com. Just me talking about life, writing, weirdness, and whatever else bubbles up. So today in author land, thanks to everyone who left a review on Need a Little Time, which now has way over 2,000 reviews, so that's great. And also, Need a Little Time is on Amazon Deal of the Month again in the UK, so you can pick that up for 99p if you haven't already. 99p, can't say fairer than that. So Need a Little Time going strong still after 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. So everyone's favourite book. So spread the word. 99p just until the end of August. Also, thanks for over 100 downloads of this podcast. This is something I do very infrequently, and when I think about it, and wasn't expecting to, have much success, but that's great. Thank you, and subscribe and like and share and whatever you need to do with a podcast. Why not? Also, I had, this is something that goes back to when I was writing the Toby Steele sequel 232323, I put in a little secret competition. Well, not so much a competition, but just a kind of just a little code to crack. And I think I put a note at the end of the book that if anyone found that secret code, they could email me and maybe win a paperback. And after 8 months, nobody had. So I put a competition out to my VIP club members. That's the people who signed up for my short story VIP club, where they get a short story emailed to them every month. You can do that if you want to. Look on my website. And those people had a chance to, they got a clue. They got an extra clue of what was, what that code was about. And I thought that maybe I'd give it a couple of weeks and see if anyone managed to crack it. And actually, it was cracked within one day. So well done to that person who won, and they got they got 2 books actually in the post, 2 paperbacks, signed paperbacks of both the Toby Steele books. So yeah, that went well. And you can still play if you want to go read that book. There is a secret code. I'll give you the clue. It's in Laura Lee's business card. That's the clue. Email me. And maybe if I've got any spare books left, we'll do another round, right? But see how it goes. Also, regarding short stories, so as I mentioned that just there, I have a short story club, and people get that emailed to them. It's just €1 or €3 a month, and you can get either just the text of the story in an email, or you can get a book delivered by BookFunnel to your Kindle. So that's grand, but that's quite niche, I suppose. And long story short, I want to sell more copies. And so what I have done is taken the first 6 stories that are sent out on the club and compiled them into a very short book. So 6 short stories in one compilation called Little Bit Strange Volume 1. So that's on pre-order from Amazon. And so you can grab a copy of that. It will come out on September the 2nd. And you can get that now, and it will be delivered to your Kindle on that day. Also, however, on this one, I'm doing a bit of an experiment. I've gone what they call wide. And so that means it's also available on Apple Books, Kobo, Barnes and Noble, etc., all of the other bookstores, ebook stores where you can buy stuff. So there's a landing page. I will put that on my website and probably in the show notes for this episode. And yeah, you can sign up for that, buy a copy, and get it delivered on September 2nd. Even if you don't have a Kindle, like if you just want to read, I don't know, in the Apple Books app, something like that, or on a Kobo reader, which I've got one of those as well. They're pretty cool. So yeah, short story. Pre-orders, new thing for me. Also in author news, I the other day sat down and made a 5-year plan for future books. Assuming, the world doesn't end by then, I've got plans for around 14 more books of various types. I won't go into too much detail, but there's going to be a lot of stuff happening over the next 5 years. I just mention it because, I don't know, it takes me a long time to write a book at the moment. I'm trying to change that. And it may seem to people that, like, what the hell is Adam doing? Just podcasts, is it now? No, I am writing. I am doing a lot of stuff in the background. So yeah, 14 more books. So by the end of 2030, I hope to have like 22 books released. So we'll see how that goes. Check back in 5 years. All right. So on my blog, I've been a bit quiet on the blog over the last while, but there have been a couple of posts. So there's one I came up. I thought about that. This is silly, right? But I thought about the changes that have happened to light bulbs over the last 50 years, and they're quite significant. So have a read on my blog if you want to know about that. And also, I traveled this last week to London for a meeting, and I was just happy to see that airport security has been massively upgraded. It's taken a while. It's still in progress in some airports, but I went from Shannon to Gatwick and back again, and no longer do you have to unpack your bag in the security and take out your liquids and here's your laptop and blah, blah, blah. Just such a faff that was, right? That doesn't happen anymore in some airports. And on that route, I did not have to mess around and take my bag apart and just, here's my toothpaste and all this rubbish. So that was great to see. And it's powered by actually some of my customers. The work that we do in technology to make life easier. And it's the sort of quiet thing that happens in the background and just, you don't really realize until you go through security and you don't have to faff around. And it's like, yeah, okay, this stuff is happening. Technology is happening. It's all around you. All right, so we did an episode of Middle Rage yesterday, and this is a very special episode. It was episode 31, myself and Keith. But while I was in London, Keith and I met up for a few pints and we recorded a little segment of Middle Rage. So that was a face-to-face, real-life, live in-person podcast session. So that was good. That was cool. So listen to episode 31 of Middle Rage if you want to hear that. The topic of that of the episode is nostalgia and the myth of it. So yeah, buymeacoffee.com/middleraged if you want to donate to that cause and keep it going. So this episode's micro rant: stop signing me out of things. Technology, I just said, is great, right? But the biggest lie on the internet is that button that says keep me signed in. It's a lie. It never works. And the next time you go back to that page, even if it's an hour later, suddenly you've been signed out. and you have to go through the whole dance of signing in again. Like, good grief! Like, seriously, there's security on my phone with, Face ID. There's security on my desktop with fingerprints. Why do I have to keep signing in again and again and again onto websites and services and whatnot? Just deal with it. It's paranoia. It's too much. It needs to, when I click the button that says keep me signed in, it needs to keep me signed in. I don't think that's too much to ask. I don't know why it doesn't work either. I presume there's some sort of security protocol that's kicking in and just, and the worst thing is when you're in some app, and you rarely use it, but you need it for a travel thing. And then you open that up while you're traveling and it's like, oh, we've signed you out. To be secure, we've signed you out. And now I have to do this ridiculous dance. I can't remember what the password is. I probably have to be texted some code and it's just a faff and I'm in a rush and it's just horrific. The workaround with this, right, is before you leave anywhere, make sure all your apps are all signed in and working and up to date and all of that crap. But you don't think of these things, right? So I just wish that when I said sign in, it just kept me signed in forever until I sign myself out or something. I don't know, but certainly not every 5 minutes that I have to sign in. That's my rant. Okay. In tech news, OpenAI has just released ChatGPT version 5 with the sort of promise of many, many upgrades. And look, in my author life, I use what we call a robot for a lot of stuff every single day, basically. Not actual writing. I'm just going to stress that. I write the books. I write the stories. The robot just does all of my admin stuff, all of my research, marketing, illustrations, all the stuff that I used to do and don't have time to keep doing if I want to actually, live my life and have a day job and write as well. The AI has been a game changer, and it's the reason I can do things like podcasts and a blog and short stories and everything else that I'm doing. So doesn't write the stories or even come up with the ideas. That's all out of my head. But it does help so much with the admin stuff. Like, you wouldn't believe how much daily admin there is: marketing, checking, advertising, updating Amazon stuff. All of that stuff in the background just is a headache. And the AI really does help. So ChatGPT 5, I was kind of excited. What can it do more for me? And it turns out the answer is, well, pretty much the same as version 4 did. So I don't really think there's been much difference. I think there was a lot of fanfare and hype, and I think it was just that. So, okay, great. It's still amazing and useful. I don't think it was the killer update that people were hoping for. But, these things progress constantly. Maybe version 6 will finally turn over the world and, I don't know, kill us all. All right, what I am reading. So I'm reading a lot of things at once, as you do. I've just finished The Fathers by John Niven. That's a new book he released, and it's excellent. It's a story about two fathers who become fathers on the same day and how their lives are quite different, based in Glasgow. Good one. I also read, for the first time, I know I'm late to the party, but for the first time I read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by, is it Philip K. Dick? I have to say, I don't think it stands up. It was written in the 60s. So what's that, like 60 years ago? And I really think it shows its age. And it's kind of misogynist and weird. And yeah, I didn't like it at all. I don't understand how it became a cult. And I don't really know why it turned into a movie and everything else. But there you go. it's a classic, so I thought I would finally read it 60 years later. And I don't rate it really, but that's me. I'm also reading Delio Phase 1 by R.R. Hayward, I think it is. And that's quite intense. This is an AI book as well. And goes quite, it gets quite crazy quite quickly. I'm still reading that though, so we'll see how that turns out. On my to be read pile, TBR, I've got quite a lot of stuff, but all of it from Scotland. So Men in Love by Irvine Welsh. I think this is a Train Spotting prequel. A Rock and a Hard Place by J.D. Kirk. That's DCI Jack Logan, book 21. Wow. He's prolific. Barry is prolific. So A Song of Stone by Ian Banks. That's an old one. Ian Banks, one of my favorite authors. Passed away some time ago, but rereading all her stuff. So that's on my pile. And Transition as well by Ian Banks. Another. Those two are kind of a bit more on the sci-fi side, but not in Ian M. Banks sci-fi side. Anyway, a lot of reading going on all the time. And now for the weird bit. And this is just a snippet of weirdness. I don't know how to describe it really, but a long time ago, I was a chef, and we're talking about maybe 30 years ago. I was in a kitchen working, and all of a sudden had this feeling of what I've come to know as a moment of clarity. Have you ever had that? You ever noticed that? I've mentioned it in some of my books, I think. But for a brief moment, it just feels like everything becomes clear. Everything, just that you understand everything. There's peace. There's you look around and things seem very simple. Your life and plans and everything just comes into focus, and it's just for a brief moment, and it passes as quickly as it comes. It just sort of dissipates, and I don't know what happened or why. And now when I think about it, all I've got is a memory of a memory. But it was such a strange feeling. I don't know how to describe it really, but I was just wondering if anybody else had these things during their life. I think it's very rare, but what does it mean? What does it do? I don't know. But at the time, it was quite profound, and I think it made me sort of change my mind about some things I was doing in my life, and yeah, it was a bit weird. Have you had a weird moment? Let me know. All right. Well, thanks for listening. This is just my short podcast, so I won't rattle on for too long. Middle Rage will come out today, I think, as well. So thanks for listening. You can look at my blog at adamecklesbooks.com. Subscribe and like and share the podcast if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to look up the Short Story Club if you want emails every month from me with a new short story, or if you just want to buy the compilation book, you can pre-order that on Amazon, and there'll be a link somewhere. Tell a friend who might like this sort of thing. And yeah, thanks for listening. Until next time, have fun. Cheers.